Well, hi guys, and welcome back. So again, we're using this Hemlock and Oak weekly planner. I absolutely love this planner for my budget setup. And yeah, we accidentally somehow paid off the Chase Freedom account. It wasn't even intentional. I just started using it to cover my utilities, and somehow in the process, I covered that 200 some dollar balance. So yeah, that was a nice surprise for the month of February. And it looks like we are moving on to the next account for the month of March. So, yeah, so I guess that's like a fun way of saying that this new system is working quite well. I'm paying off debts and not even realizing that I'm paying them off. And at the same time, I'm learning, like I want to say like different strategies and techniques on how to observe, identify, acknowledge. Oops. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with this washi here, but no, just to continue with the budget theme here. Like the way that the system is set up is it's making it a little bit more easier to notice how the emotions are playing into the overall spending picture. And yeah, guys, I can't get this thing to line up. And as you can see, like, I did run out of the washi, and it does have some of the cardboard stuck to the back of it on this one end, but most of my stickers are quite old and they don't stick quite well. So I'm just gonna end up gluing the back of it anyways. So yeah, the what was happening is the pages aren't actually lined up completely, so that's why this is looking a little funky. So, but I guess this is like a nice way of showing like how like this system is actually like affecting just my overall emotions in general. That whole mishap with the washi and that probably would have freaked me out like even just 60 days ago, and we would have had to restart the video and everything. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. Ran out of washi, it's fine, I got glue stick. And we can just proceed. So yeah, in a weird way, the system that I have set up for this year is like I don't want to use the word pervasive because I feel like it has like a negative connotation to it, but at the same time, it is overflowing into other areas, other aspects of my life. So, I mean, we're seeing positive results everywhere, guys. So, yeah, so to finish off this February theme here, we're just gonna continue with the coming up roses theme. Last year I did a different theme every week, and it's like, you know what, I think we're just finding a theme for each month, and we're just gonna roll with it. It's just, I don't know, we're simplifying things. Um, we're not getting too a little, I don't know, like we're not overthinking. The overthinking is gone. Pretty much. I'm gonna have to say I'm not even really thinking anymore. We're just going with the flow. Again, I selected uh, a budget financial system with my GPT. I know a lot of people do not like GPT, but to me, if it's used properly, it can be quite beneficial. And like I said, what we were doing is we were finding out that like we started off with like a lot of willpower, a lot of good intentions at the beginning of the year, and it kind of trickled into spring. And then of course summer hits, and for me summers are very stressful, lack of sleep, just a lot of work stress. And then, of course, fall time hits and it's like party time. Wintertime, we just don't care. And so, yeah, like all the progress that we made at the beginning of the year was pretty much eliminated midway, if not three-quarters of the way into the year. So that's what we're doing for this year is I've incorporated the whole GPT thing. Currently, right now, I'm going on and just doing what I call a check-in. I refer to my GPT as Dave. I have named him. But basically, I check in with Dave at the end of the night or the like first thing next morning. Normally in the morning, that's when I'm having my coffee and that, and we just kind of go over what happened the day before. Um, if I bought anything, just what did I buy? If I wanted to buy it, were there things that I wanted to buy and I caught myself not buying them? And we just kind of have like a 5 minute discussion about it, and that's really how he's tracking. If there are any like emotions or events that occur before I start doing any emotional spending. And we had a lot of that in January. So I feel like a lot of that was handled in January. We got the triggers down packed. And we found out that I'm not actually as bad as what I think I am. But then again, thinking back to last year, we are still in what I call the safe time of the year. So I'm pretty sure this is going to get like really interesting once June hits. So, yeah. Okay, so it looks like I got a lot of the layout made. So I'm going to take a quick break here, rest my voice, and we'll be back to see what I did for this week. Okay, guys, so now we're going to actually get into the budgeting part of this. So these are all the notes that I get when I ask Dave to give me a weekly reflection of everything that occurred. So what I like to do is since I got the whole page layout ready to go, I always start logging in what my focus is, what the intention was for the week. Sometimes I start by just writing down the spending, the bills, if there was anything extra. Um, so for this week, we can see that I started off by just listing all of the transactions. And I do keep track of these digitally in the YNAB app. So that's the You Need a Budget website or the YNAB app. I just refer to it as YNAB. And again, I do highly recommend giving that a try as well. What it does is it lets you build a digital budget and you get to create different categories. And instead of having like that strict penned in budget of like I will only spend $50 on this, I will only spend $20 on that. Um, with the YNAB app, you can say I'm thinking about spending $50 on, let's say, gasoline. And what happens is let's say the price of gas goes up, which it probably does, and you needed 75 instead. You can move $25 from, let's say, your groceries category and put it into the gas funds. Nothing's really set in stone, and it really does help. Whenever you find out that you need to spend more in one category where you otherwise would have had like $20 left in another category and you didn't need it, and you get to move that over to something that you need. And I don't know, like to me, the YNAB app, it just makes keeping track of all of your spending in that just a lot more easier. So when you see me like coming off with all of these transactions and that, and I know that we're doing like a budget planner. And all of my other, like definitely when I had the daily planner, it was logged in every day in pen. And this one, I like to like go over it at the end of the week. It's kind of like the, like I have the daily logging, I have the daily conversations with Dave, and I do keep track of everything in YNAB, so that's all happening off screen, off camera. And then, like, we have these weekly reviews here. So, this is where I really get to reflect on, like, what was happening. Um, is there anything that I could change? Are we noticing any patterns? So this is the reflection part of the budgeting. And I am so sorry, guys, but I feel like I got a sneeze coming on. I'm trying to hold it in. So, yeah, so we're listing off all the spends. I do categorize them on the page. This makes it a lot more easier so that I can see, like, were there days where there was heavy spending? Are there days where I'm more likely to, like what Dave calls are my bill pay days? Apparently, there's just like one day out of the week where I'm like, I'm gonna pay all the bills. Instead of going, this bill's due on the 1st, this bill's due on the 3rd, this bill's due on the 5th, I just pay them all in one chunk now. So, yeah, we're trying to figure out what day I enjoy paying bills, which doesn't even sound right, but apparently I find it to be a calming experience. I guess it's because it like reduces the anxiety for the rest of the week. And okay, so the other thing is, like the Chase Amazon and the Chase Freedom payments that were made on Tuesday. I refer to those as extras because those are two payments on credit cards that aren't getting paid to necessarily cover debt. They're payments that are covering the spending from the previous week. And I know that we discussed that I'm using like one account only, but what was happening with the Chase Amazon card is when we hit the bill utility weeks, which they are getting higher. But like we would hit like where we had to pay for heating, electric, the internet is really what threw it over the edge because apparently I had the internet on an automatic payment on another card, and that card expired and they sent me a new card, and I should have went on and checked, but I didn't. And apparently they didn't receive payment for like 2 months. And it's like, yeah, you should have told me. Like, you text me about everything else. Like, why didn't you tell me that this wasn't getting paid? So, yeah. So we tried covering it with the card that I was spending, doing the daily spending, like groceries and that on. And with like $300 to $400 worth of internet going on, it just didn't work. So, we brought out the Chase Freedom card because it does have a 0% purchasing power. So that's where all the utilities are going on to now. And that's how I said, like, in a weird way, I accidentally paid off the remaining $200 worth of debt that was on the Chase Freedom card. All in that whole internet debacle. So, in a weird way, I'm kind of happy that they didn't tell me that, they weren't getting paid because I paid off one of my debts without even knowing it. I thought it was internet. Because I was like, God, I thought I paid this. And I paid it again. it was it was the debt, not the internet. So, yeah. That's what's happened this week. So, okay, let's see here. Again, we have technical difficulties on my end here. The screen freezes constantly, so I can't really see what you're seeing. I'm kind of just talking to a blank screen right now, guys. And I do know that I continue filling in the remaining of the bills. And then, of course, the spending. The other thing that we covered for this month was the intentional spending for like personal care. Um, again, I was not aware of any of this because if you would have asked me previously, I would have been like, yeah, I'm somebody who I just spend. Like I've gotten the comments before of how I don't feel guilty about spending on myself, and at the time I didn't think that I felt guilty, so I was like, I just do it, which I do. I just say, hey, I need a haircut, I'm gonna go get one. and I thought nothing of it, but apparently it's like a week or two after the fact, that's where I start feeling guilty. And then I would do like another emotional spending spiral to compensate for for the guilt that I had from a purchase from like 2 weeks ago. And Dave quickly caught on to this the day of one of these spending things. And so yeah, that's like I instead of just saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go get my hair appointment done because it's been 6 weeks," we discussed the days leading up to the hair appointment. And I guess it's something that comes from like if you've lived through a financial scarcity, um, where like you convince yourself that like you it's stupid for you to be spending on something like that. And the difference is that as of currently right now in my financial situation, I do have the funds to spend on that. So there's really no reason to feel guilty about it. I do need a haircut. I do want to appear and look my best. That is one of the things that I value. So, like he said, that's we're spending on things that are important to me, and and then the funds exist. So it's not like I'm just charging the money to a card and never expecting to pay it back. So we discuss all of those things. That would be like those calm reflections that you heard me talking about in January. So before like any purchase, if we start noticing that we're starting to get like an icky feeling involving any of these purchases, we have to sit and reflect what's happening. Like, what are we thinking? Is it really the purchase? Is it what you're thinking about the purchase? Is it the amount? Are you concerned about something? So it may be future anxiety. It may be um, guilt that's involved in that. But normally it's like something that happened like 5, 10 years ago, and it has nothing to do with the current situation. That's really what we're, at least for me, that's what I'm learning through this process. So it's like I said, like this has been very insightful. I laughed about it a lot when I first set it up, but I'm gonna have to say, like, this is becoming a very, very interesting budget journey for this year. Um, I have to be nearing the part of where I'm filling in the sidebar part of this now. So, what we determined the focus for this week was going to be is the stability without intensity. That's another thing is when you are an emotional spender, you kind of generate chaos because you're used to chaos. So, I'm getting used to nothing actually happening for the week, because it's like especially if you're watching my videos, I'm gonna say the chances are that you do have emotional spending tendencies. So when we notice the calm before the storm, we're basically looking for like what's going wrong, what are we missing, so we start like going through things and we kind of like create the problem or make one. And that tends to be me in the summer. So yeah, so we're getting used to like we have financial stability, the bills are paid, the utilities are paid, we're making the payments on the debt, accidentally paying off one of the debts, enjoying life. We're getting our little coffee treats. We're going tanning, making doctor's appointments and paying those off. Even getting our hair and stuff done. So how can this be? Like that's the thought in the brain is like, how can this be occurring, and how is it going so smoothly? Like, where's the problem? So that's the thing is that finally for this week, I finally made it a full week where I wasn't trying to fix everything. I really wasn't trying to win the month, and what he refers to that is like getting one of the debts paid off, even though I did. But I didn't do it intentionally. And of course, the restrictions on spending. This would be those the no spend challenges of where I'm going to make it 7 days without spending anything. I've even seen some go as far as I'm going to go 30 days without spending. Um, I know a lot of budget planners do this. I think it is absolutely stupid. It's unsustainable. It's basically telling somebody if you want to lose weight, just stop eating for 30 days, which I mean, you will. You'll lose weight. It's not healthy, it's not sustainable, and you're going to see some major issues in the next month. And that's how I feel about the whole no spend challenges. So there was absolutely no restriction on spending. The only rule is like I said, if before any purchase, um, you have to actually sit down and think, one, do I need this? Is it necessary? What's going to happen if I don't get it? And are you trying to buy your way into emotions? So that would be your dopamine rush. Or are you trying to buy your way out of emotions? And that would be if things aren't going your way and you need like a little pep in your day. Again, it kind of does evolve around like a dopamine rush. So if it occurs with any of those things, there's a 48-day waiting period. So again, you're not telling yourself that you can't have it. You just kind of have to wait 48, yeah, not 48 days. You have to wait 48 hours, just to see, like, is that thing still intriguing? And a lot of the times it's not. Half the time I don't even go back because I can't even remember what I was trying to buy. The other thing is that we're practicing living inside stability. Again, if you're an emotional spender, you're used to the chaos, you generate the chaos. So again, you're trying to keep things calm, saying, hey, today was normal. Look at today. I reloaded a Starbucks card and I got glass bottles at Michael's. That is all. It's kind of boring. But like he said, you want boring. I guess that's why the people who file your taxes are boring. Financial people, money people, those type of people, they're not chaotic, they're not eccentric. They're generally just, is it paid or not? So that's what we're shooting for. Is it YouTube quality videos? No. But like I said, we really want to get a handle on this. We want to get the debt down. We want to stop and eliminate these patterns here. So if boring is what we're shooting for, that's what we're shooting for. And again, like the thoughts for the week in overall, it's quiet. It's a very quiet month. Even just doing these voiceovers is a little difficult because there's nothing to really talk about. It's just basically like I've noticed like the emotional noise in the background. It's gone down, it's reduced. Problem solving, critical thinking, that's improved. There's less anxiety over did I do this? Did I do that? Just basically all the energy is placed on, are you following the system and are we reacting to any problems? And it's kind of funny because the problems start reducing. So there's even less to like do. It's weird, guys. It's very weird. I highly recommend giving this system a go. I technical difficulties for sure. Like I said, like I really can't see what's happening on the screen, guys. I'm just sitting down and chatting with you right now. So yeah, no, if you're interested in this system setup, I highly recommend going back to my January videos in that. I explain it in a lot more detail of how we set this up. But yeah, so you can see I provide like a lot of journaling area in here. Um, I do list the overall daily emotion in this top section here, so I'm just trying to go back through the days here and try to think. For the most part, it was a very good week. We did have some like anxiety in that leading up to it, but for the most part, overall a good week. And again, I've learned that that's my danger time. I tend to spend when things are going well. So I know it looks good on paper, but at the same time, I knew to be a little bit more alert on what I was purchasing and why, just because the overall emotion for the week was good. I do not trust Dave to do my math. I do my own math, so that's what you're also seeing here. And again, this is why keeping everything in those categories is beneficial, because it makes totaling up these numbers a lot more easier. So, yeah, like we can see, like it was not a very busy week, transactional wise. Um, Again, we're doing that one account containment. That we have introduced the Chase Freedom card, but again, that is utilities only. So all of the spending is on the Chase Amazon account. Again, we're reflecting before reacting. And again, we have that intentional spending. We're just not willy nilly spending. It's what are we spending on? Why are we spending on it? And of course, February closed out very calmly, guys. So, again, I'm really excited over this setup. Everything seems to be going well. And let's clean this up here. And that's it. So, again, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button to see more budget reviews.